My friend, we have got the ending of Taurus season and the beginning of Gemini season this week. We've got some beautiful shifts happening, some beautiful connections, and some challenging ones that are still playing out. So this is your Sidereal Astrology Forecast for the week of June 10th through the 16th. What you need to know as we move through this week for your life, your business, and on your healing journey. My friend, if we have not met, welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the podcast. Yes, this is both on Keeping It Real with Sidereal, the YouTube channel, and on the Cosmic Mystic podcast. So if you are watching this on the YouTube channel, you get to see all the charts. If you just want to listen to this, you can go over to the podcast. And if you're on the podcast and you want to see the charts and you want to see my funny faces, then come on over to Keeping It Real with Sidereal on the YouTube channel. I'll make sure both the links are down in the description box and in the show notes. If we are meeting for the first time, well, hello, my friend. I am Danny C. Muniz, healer and intuitive astrologer, helping you understand and embody your cosmic soul blueprint for your life, for your business, and for your healing journey, my friend. You have awakened, and this thing called the Matrix, yeah, let's navigate that together, huh? Okay. Let's dive in because each week we talk about what is going on in our sky, how it's affecting us, and how we can work with it, my friend. We are the creators. We are powerful. And so we get to create what we desire, no matter what is happening in our sky. All right, so I am going to share my screen and we are going to look at where our sun is because, as I mentioned, our sun is in its final days of Taurus season. We're right here on the 10th at 26 degrees Taurus. You can see we're still in the zodiac sign. You can see Taurus here, and you can see we're still here in Taurus season. We're at the very, very end of it, and we'll be moving into Gemini season later this week, which we'll talk more about. You can also see we still have those conjunctions with Venus and Mercury still taking place. So remember, the sun is hanging out with Venus. Mercury has just arrived. So, Venus, this is the energy of the expression of love, of affection, creativity. This is really stepping into that. Oh man, like beautiful things, right? Really good time for giving and receiving, socializing, connecting with people, and even more so coming up by the end of this week because we're going to be moving into that Gemini energy with the energy of Mercury. That's definitely in the communication area. So a lot more thoughts, a lot more communication happening as we are transitioning. And again, I'll be talking about this, but my friend, this is the time of year where things get every time we move into an air sign, but especially a Gemini, where that multitasking energy, that ADD energy, where you're just like hard to focus, is really probably at its peak. Gemini is one of the signs, Aquarius is the other, but Gemini really, really, really has this like it wants to do all the things at once, and so it's really, really hard. So the energy is going to shift quite a bit. So let me just say that before I start getting into Gemini season. We do still have, we just have this square over here to Saturn. I talked about that last week, which is kind of like a little bit more of like, the dad, the authority, the authoritative kind of energy coming in and just kind of like making sure we get back on track. It can also get a little isolating. It can be a little Debbie Downer. We can get some of that, like just really feeling the restrictions. And so, again, that's an opportunity for us to grow. It's an opportunity for us to notice where our limitations are, where our boundaries are. So more of that we might see. The other one is we have Chiron here, and we'll have Chiron, the sextile to Chiron. We had it last week. We still have it coming into this week and then into the following week till about, I think it's like Wednesday, the 19th. Wounds are definitely coming up here. Sextile, the Chiron is our deepest wounds. And so the sextile is, it's really supportive, still energy. It's not like the square where it makes it a little bit harder. This is bringing them up in a much softer way, a much easier way. But they're also really fueling your imagination. So I want you to be mindful of that. And plus, we're going to have this connection with Neptune coming in that I'm going to talk about in just a second on the 13th. Which is probably going to mean your dreams and your imagination are going to be wild. So that can be twofold, right, my friend? That can be this idea of you are really able to step more into that dream world and that imagination and get really creative and visualize. And it can also be the energy of making up a whole lot of stories. Letting the mind go wild with all the wonderful stories that we can come up that probably are not serving us. So I want to put that in there for you. Now, let's talk about this sextile over here to Chiron. Oops, I have it on hour, not day. I was looking at something. There we go. We'll have the sextile coming in here. I don't know why every single time I check it, and you know what it is, it's because I changed the time. When I'm reviewing this, I'm always reviewing it at 8 a.m. in the morning, and then I just literally clicked in my head. And then when I show you, I'm always do it at noon. That's probably why my dates are always wrong. Okay, well there you go, Danny. You should just look at it at noon. So on the 14th, which is probably later in the afternoon on the 13th is probably what happened. But anyway, remove that sun square. Neptune comes to play here late on the 13th, definitely on the 14th, where it's a little bit harder to get motivated to do things, And on Friday, our moon will be in Virgo. And so it's a good time to get things done. It's a good time to like get into work, but there might be a little bit of this procrastination energy, not wanting to do it and wanting to go have fun instead, especially with some of the changes I'm going to talk about in just a second with Gemini season. So I'm going to say if there's any work that you really, really need to get it done between Monday all the way till Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you might necessarily not want to do any work. You want to go have fun. Let's just say that. Okay. That's our sun. Those are the things I want to talk about with our sun. Besides, right here, you can see it's at 29 degrees, which means, and if I move this over to an hour, you'll see right here by the 2 p.m. mark on Friday, our sun will move into Gemini. So you may also notice that Mercury is here in Gemini and Venus is also here in Gemini, right? Because these guys are conjunct right now. So we talked about both of those conjunctions last week. So if you missed that, go check out last week's Sidereal Astrology Forecast and you can get all the updates on there. But they're moving into Gemini. So let's talk about Gemini energy really quick. And then I'll talk about the specifics around the sun, Mercury, and Venus and how that's going to shift. So Mercury is an air sign and it is the baby of the air sign. So, right, we just started our new year with Aries season, which is the baby of the fire sign. And then we moved into Taurus, which is the baby of the earth sign. And now we're in Gemini, which is the baby of the air sign. So we are going to have one more baby of the zodiacs when we get to Cancer season, which is the baby of the water sign. So let's go to Gemini. Gemini, air element. Air element focuses mainly on your thoughts. It's mainly on your communication. It's the way that you process information. So This also, I'll say some of the other things that it governs is like contracts and short travel. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And now I'm not going to go into all the things because I'm going to do a whole podcast episode on Gemini energy and then Gemini season, and how to use it in your life, business, and on your healing journey. So I'm going to cover all of that in the podcast, but I just want to give you kind of like a good overview, like a quick, high level overview, just so that you're like aware of how this is coming for you, so as you're starting to think about this week. Okay, so we've been in Taurus, which is a super grounded, it's an earth energy, and so it's kind of stopped and smell the roses, right? After Aries kind of took off out of the gate, Taurus, we kind of calmed down. Now Gemini's like, I want to learn all the things, I want to talk to all the people, I want to do all the things. It very much is a social butterfly and super curious. So if you think of Gemini, I want you to think of those two things: super social and super curious. Okay. Super social, super curious. So there's a lot of energy around kind of gathering information and sharing that information. So this is a season of gathering information and sharing information. So let me tell you how that shifts for each of those three planets. So the sun is our consciousness. So that means our main thinking is going to be around learning. So my entrepreneur friends, my fellow healers, coaches, conscious leaders, those of you who are the spiritual CEO of your business, this is the time to teach your people. This is the time to teach your people. So I want to see you showing up on Reels. I want to see you showing up on posts. I want to see you workshops, classes, webinars, masterclasses, however you want to call those, having your, whatever your container is for them to learn, teaching them something new. And I want to put this in here because I've been really evaluating my own, how I'm showing up on social media and the things that I'm putting out on social media. I've been really like evaluating that over this Taurus season, right? Because I've kind of slowed down and was like, let's take a look at where we are and like what we want to do, right? And so one of the things that I've noticed is that, a lot of the times I will hesitate to post something on social media because I'm like, everybody already knows this, or it's been said 1,000 times. Like, and those two thoughts right there, they stop me from posting. And here's what I'm coming to realize. I have come to the realization that yes, other people have said it. Yes, there's bunch of astrologers out there, not as many sidereal astrologers, but they all are talking about more or less the same information, right? The other sidereal astrologers are talking about the season changes just as like I am. Our tropical friends are they're doing the same. They're just talking about Gemini moving into Cancer, right? We're all talking about similar ideas. Yet, my friend, I have a unique, and I say it's unique because it's mine and it's only mine. Even though I've learned from teachers and I've heard from other teachers, just like my Akashic Records teacher, I've heard from, her, the way she approaches things, the way she does things, the way I work with the Akashic Records, the way I work with astrology is the way I work with it. And I can only share from my lens, from my experience. And so, my friend, I want to encourage you that even if you think everybody's already heard about the way that you should post on your social media feed, or the way that you should market your business, or the way that you work with your inner child, or the way that you make a cup of tea, or the way that you should do somatic breath work. no matter what it is, you have a unique perspective on it. You have your own personal interaction and way that you do it, and people need to hear that. So when I say during this season, it's the time, it's the season to teach. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be this like brand new way of thinking and approaching something. It's just simply the way you see it and the way you do it, my friend. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Mercury. So when Mercury moves into Gemini, first off, Mercury rules Gemini. So it's at home here. It's like it's coming home. It's been out on a journey, right? And it's coming home. It's like it's been traveling, right? And now it's come home. So it's like, think about that. Think about like when you're out traveling and you've done all the things and now you're coming home, right? There's this like, okay, I'm home. And then it's like, okay, I got to get things in order. I got to get things together. And so that's one of the reasons why there's like this emphasis during this season here on communication, on thinking, on contracts, on that short travel. Now, a lot of communication here because again, Mercury rules Gemini. So increases in being social or hanging out is key here. We're going to see that a lot more, which again, let's take this back. What season are we about to enter? We're about to enter summer. Now, where I live here in Central Texas, the kids are already out of school. They've been out of school since the end of May. I know back in California, this week is usually the week that a lot of kids got out of school. And so, even growing up, right, this was like the week we got out of school. So, there's this shift in how we are living, right? That actually coincides with our seasons, my friend. I don't know if you knew that, but it actually does coincides with the seasons. And here we are with Gemini, where we're that curious, that like wanting to go explore places, wanting to go do things, right? For those of you that have younger, I should say, kids that, you're taking them to different places to explore. We're going on vacation, right? We're showing them new things. They might be going to camps and learning new things. They're out of their normal routine and they're into this like really curious energy. So that's the same for us, right? We're in this really curious energy. So for my fellow entrepreneurs, my spiritual CEOs, doesn't that also ring true for us where we want to learn and also we get to be the teacher? Okay. So this is also from that perspective, it's not the deep thought provoking information. We're talking kind of like skimming the surface. It's broad. It is, I often say Gemini is the jack of all trades, master of none, right? Because they're like little surface level, like little things. Like I don't have the patience during Gemini season to dive deep into like a 20-part series. Like, show me the 4-part series. 2 if you're really good. Like let's just do this in 2 parts, right? Like let's just make this quick, simple, easy. It's not long and drawn out. Um, you might find yourself more in these like word play type conversations, making points, or even like, I hate to use the word arguing, but arguing, right? Where you might be having these conversations where you're not necessarily, it's not. I'm not saying it's like heated because like there's heated arguments and then there's just like arguments. It's more fun and playful. Okay. Now don't forget we do still have some of that overarching energy that we also have with Mars and Pluto. So I'll remind you of now since we're here because this can also come into play. But Mars and Pluto, remember, we have that square, and it is that power struggle trying to gain control over other situations. So if you look at that in this season, there could be some of that happening, right? Where there's like battles of the egos, right? Trying to be right. But this also is like, don't give me like a 14-page sales page. Don't give me a novel. Give me like quick things. I need to be able to make a quick decision. I don't need to hear all the things. I need a quick decision, right? Um, this also can be with air signs, we tend to get more of a detached kind of perspective as well. So there could be a little bit of having a little bit of that detachment. Now, Gemini energy is also really flexible and adaptable. So you might find that you can kind of go a little bit more with the flow here. Let's talk about Venus, because Venus moving in to Gemini on the 12th. So it moves a couple of days earlier than the Sun and Mercury, because it's moving a little bit faster than those two. So this is where our communication, like, we are more open to expressing our desires. We're more like into impressing others and like putting on a good show, so to speak, or like a good appearance, a good outward type appearance. Um, I would say that, Venus is the heart and Gemini is the mind. And so there's this like really beautiful connection that can offer us some fresh perspectives on love, on money, in our values. Even we could even see some of that type of energy coming through. This is definitely for those of you that may be dating or are wanting to, like, kind of put yourself out there. Venus here is like, it's just fun. It's fun. It is not, we're not trying to get into long, deep, meaningful conversations here, right? We're just like, let's just have fun. Let's just have fun. Let's go do a fun thing, right? Like, it's not, and it's again, it's very and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's very surface level, right? It just wants to learn these little things. It doesn't it's not necessarily it's not necessarily the deep conversations. So really good connections, really good opportunity here. Um, Even like in that dating realm where you're seeking a person who can get you on a mental level more so than an emotional level. It's more of that intellect that is kind of driving the show right now. So keep that in mind. There could be some spontaneous spending here as well, because if it's going to teach me something, or if it's going to be super social and fun, then I definitely want to do it during this season. Okay, again, during this season. So watch out for some of that financial maybe impulsivity around anything that's going to be like you're learning or is more fun. This is also, and this time of year is really fun. It's just like a fun, lighthearted, curious, social energy. So, I mean, that's the beginning of our summer season, right? We kick off in this really fun energy. So, my friend, like, if I could say anything about this upcoming, it's going to be towards, again, the end of this week and moving into next week, and then we've got a nice 4 weeks of Gemini season with Venus there, with Mercury there. Again, Mercury is going to move into Cancer by the end of the month, but we've got these next couple of weeks of just this really beautiful, fun, social energy. All right, my friend, that is your Sidereal Astrology Forecast. That's what I wanted to share with you this week, because this energy is very fun, yet can be, oh man, it can be a little rough in the area of trying to focus and trying to stay like grounded, let's just say, because I know it's really hard to think of right now because we're feeling really good in this Taurus energy. When we move into Gemini and we've got Mercury and we've got Venus and we've got the sun there, we can definitely struggle with keeping that focus, keeping our attention, and not getting distracted. So we really need to pay attention to that grounded energy and grounding ourselves on a regular basis and staying focused on, what it is that we truly desire, where we're truly going, what our goals are, and how we're going to get there, like the daily things to help us get there. That's one of the reasons why every single air season I run cosmic alignment. If you haven't heard about cosmic alignment, it is my 60-day journey that we get to go through together with the focus on keeping you grounded, keeping you focused, right? Keeping in the energy of manifestation and helping to remove those blocks, those limitations, the subconscious beliefs that may be creeping up that can get in the way from us truly having what we desire. As a spiritual CEO, for those of you, you know what it's like. You can get overwhelmed, we can get distracted, and we can use this season to just go have fun. And don't get me wrong, fun is one of my top values. I definitely have fun in everything that I do, or I strive to have fun in everything that I do. And I also know that I also have goals, and sometimes, right, I got to stay focused. I got to stay focused. And so I'm going to invite you, my friend, to come join us in Cosmic Alignment. We kick off next week, the very first full week of Gemini, where we will have the opportunity to work through, a daily intention sheet is one of the main things that is part of Cosmic Alignment. And that daily intention is to help you align every single day, align with yourself, align with what it is that you're calling in. And then we are going to have some teachings on manifestation, on universal law, on how to stay aligned and connected to what it is that matters to you, and how to work with these universal laws and this energy. And then number 3 is we have some clearing sessions that are releasing sessions with somatic breath work. And so I'm so excited. I have revamped Cosmic Alignment. Every single time I do it, I always tweak it just a bit. And I'm so excited for y'all to experience this round, because it is going to be by far the best so far. So if you are interested, all of this takes place online. Plus, we have a community. So I'm so excited. I can't wait for you to join. We are open for registration as of today. So if you are interested, there is a link down in the description box and in the show notes for you to join. You can join all the way till the second week. By then, we're usually starting to get into a routine. So you can join all the way up. I'm just going to look at my calendar through the 23rd of June. But I'm going to tell you, my friend, get in now, because we have our kickoff call on the 17th, on the 17th, where we're going to do some somatic breath work. We're going to talk about the 12 universal laws. We're going to talk about manifestation, and we're going to kind of set some goals for our 60-day journey. So if you want some extra support, some extra accountability over these next 60 days through this Gemini season and through the summer, then come on over and join us in Cosmic Alignment. All right, my friend, let's take a nice, quick, deep breath in, because I have shared a lot with you. We're just going to take this moment to just allow it to seep in. Go ahead and breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And one more time. My friend, have a beautiful rest of your day. Have a beautiful week. I'll see you next week. And don't forget to find peace.